What's going on, Mets fans? It's Brian here. This is the Mets Mayhem Recap Show. What a night. If you're a fan of New York sports, not just the New York Mets, you're likely a fan of the New York Knicks. The Knicks just picked up a Game 1 victory against the defending champion Boston Celtics. In overtime, they came back from being down by 20 points. Final score, 108-105. Shout out to the Knicks. Great game, boys. So coming off the high of enjoying that win, we got the Mets and Diamondbacks with the late start. The Mets come into this series with a 4-6 record in the last 10 games. They're experiencing their first little bump in the road. They're still atop the NL East. They have a 23-12 record. The Mets send Griffin Canning to the mound. He's 4-1 this season with a 2.61 ERA. He's going up against the 18-16 Diamondbacks. They send Ryan Nelson to the mound. He's 1-0 with a 5.82 ERA. As always, thank you in advance for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you want to support the channel, I would appreciate you liking the video and subscribing. But for now, Mets Diamondbacks, Game 1 of the 3-game series. Let's get into it. Francisco Lindor leading off the top of the first inning against Ryan Nelson. He takes a first pitch ball, then he flies out on a down and in fastball, flies out to Alec Thomas in center field, first out of the game. Juan Soto now up, and he reaches base on a 4-pitch walk. That brings up Pete Alonso, runner on first, 1 out. He falls behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Then he pulls a curveball down in the zone, hits it hard, but right at Perdomo at shortstop, who tosses it over to Ketel Marte at second, fires over to Josh Naylor, who's playing first. That completes the 6-4-3 double play. It was hit hard, but right at Perdomo, and that ends the top of the first inning. Griffin Canning on the mound, pitching to Corbin Carroll, leading off for the Diamondbacks. Canning starts him off with a fastball just inside off the plate, ball 1. He goes back to the well. Same pitch essentially, right on the inside corner this time. Carroll turns on it, crushes it over the right center field fence. 10th home run of the season for Carroll. Cannon's 3rd home run given up this season. He's done such a good job of keeping the ball in the park to date. His average is 0.6 home runs per 9 innings this year, as compared to last year where it was 1.6 home runs per 9 innings. So hopefully he can keep the ball in the park the rest of the game. So now it's 1-0. Diamondbacks after the leadoff home run. Ketel Marte up. Marte didn't play in the series at Citi Field. He was hurt. He's now back in the lineup. Kenny misses with 2 pitches up and away. He falls behind him 2-0 before he throws a slider at the knees, but over the plate to Marte. Gets pulled through the infield, into right field, base hit. So Diamondbacks have back-to-back hits, home run, base hit to right field. Brings up Pavin Smith. He's DH in this game. Runner on first. The count goes full, but Canning gets him to chase a back foot slider. He strikes out, and that's the first out of the inning. That brings up Josh Naylor, who's playing first base. And Canning gets ahead of him, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and gets him to pull a changeup down and away. On the ground, right to Jeff McNeil at second. Tosses over to Francisco Lindor covering second, who fires to Alonso at first, and that completes the 4-6-3 double play, and that ends the first inning. Sterling Marte is DH in this game. He's batting cleanup. He leads off the top of the second inning against Ryan Nelson. Marte gets ahead of the count, 2-1, but he grounds a slider on the outside corner, right back to Nelson. Tosses over to Naylor at first. That's the first out. Easy out for the Diamondbacks. Brings up Brandon Nimmo. He's batting 5th in the lineup. He works the count full. Has a good at bat. He lays off of anything outside of the strike zone. He draws a walk. Mark Vientos is now up. He's batting 6th in the lineup. Runner at first, 1 out. Vientos gets ahead of Nelson. 2 balls, no strikes. He gets a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up and in, but he flies out to Corbin Carroll on right for the second out. 2 outs now. Runner at first. Francisco Alvarez at the plate. He's catching, batting 7th. He's had a lot of success hitting a Chase Field, and he absolutely smokes a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Comes off the bat at 115 miles an hour, but right to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. left, and that retires the side. Griffin Canning facing Eugenio Suarez leading off the bottom of the second inning, and Suarez lines an 0-1 inside fastball into left field for a leadoff single. Catcher Gabriel Moreno now up, runner at first, no one out. Canning gets him to ground the changeup at the bottom of the zone, right to McNeil at second, who tosses to Lindor, that forces out Suarez at second, and that's the first out. So Suarez was out at second. Moreno's on first base on the fielder's choice. 1 out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. up, and Cannon strikes him out on a 3-2 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Just freezes him for the second out. Alek Thomas now up, 2 outs, runner at first, and he grounds a 1-0 slider right over the plate to McNeil at second, who tosses over to Alonso at first and the second inning. So far in the first 2 innings, Griffin Canning hasn't been very sharp. He's been lucky to get out of these 2 innings, only giving up 1 run. The Diamondbacks miss a couple of pitches, but Canning typically gets stronger as the game goes on, so let's see if that continues. Jeff McNeil leading off the top of the 3rd inning, and he gets just under a 1-1 curveball right down the middle, just misses it, flies out to Alek Thomas in center field for the first out. Now Tyrone Taylor's up next. He jumps on the first pitch he sees, which is the first pitch fastball down in the zone, lines it into right center field. He races around the bases, the ball goes to the wall, he slides headfirst into third base. A 1-out triple for Tyrone Taylor. Francisco Lindor now up, top of the lineup. He pulls a 0-1 inside fastball to shallow right field. Corbin Carroll is getting under it. Tyrone Taylor's tagging. Carroll makes the catch. Taylor's coming home. Carroll throws a good one, a 1-hopper to Moreno, who turns and dives into the right-handed batter's box. He tags Taylor sliding in head first before he has any chance to get near the plate. Double play. Griffin Canning back on the mound in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and now he's looking like he's getting in a groove. He gets the Diamondbacks in order. He gets Geraldo Perdomo, who was a pest in the series at Citi Field. He's leading off, but he strikes out looking at a 2-2 fastball on the inside corner. Corbin Carroll, who led off the game for the Diamondbacks with his 10th home run of the season. He takes a 2-2 change up to deep center field, but it's in play. Taylor makes the play, records the second out. And then Canning freezes Ketel Marte on a 2-2 fastball on the corner, down and away. And that ends the 3rd inning. Top of the 4th inning. Ryan Nelson facing Juan Soto leading off. Soto walks on 4 pitches. Brings up Pete Alonso. Alonso falls behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He gets a cutter at the top of the zone and absolutely lets it rip. 425 feet, deep left field, a monster shot, 2-run homer. Mets take the lead, 2-1. Alonso has just been fantastic this year. So now we have Ryan Nelson comes back. He strikes out Sterling Marte in a 2-2 fastball up and in, and that's the first out of the inning. Brandon Nimble now comes up, and Nelson's working him away. But Nelson can't get Nimble to chase anything off the plate, and Nimble draws a walk on a 3-2 count. Brings up Mark Vientos, and Vientos stays back and drives an 0-2 curveball into right field for a base hit. The Mets now have runners on first and third. Nimble advances to third on that hit. 1 out. Francisco Alvarez at the plate. Nelson works Alvarez up in the zone. He gets him to chase a fastball up and in, out of the strike zone. Strikes out for the second out of the inning. The Mets still have Jeff McNeil coming up with the runners on the corners. He works the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. He gets a 97-mile-an-hour fastball inside corner, but he grounds it to Ketel Marte, who fields it, but he tags Vientos going first to second, and that's the 3rd out. Bottom of the 4th inning. Pavin Smith leading off for the Cardinals. Cannon falls behind him, 2 balls, no strikes, but he gets him to ground out on a slider down. Hits the ball right to Jeff McNeil, who's been busy so far this game. Tosses over to Alonso at first, and that's the first out. Brings up Josh Naylor up next. He chases 2 balls down out of the zone, fouling them off. Puts himself in a 1 ball, 2 strike hole. Cannon throws a slider a little bit higher. Actually, this one's actually in the strike zone, and Naylor grounds it through the right side for a base hit. Eugenio Suarez up. Cannon gets him to ground a 1-1 slider down and in, right to Lindor at short, who tosses to McNeil covering second. That forces Naylor out at second. 2 outs. Gabriel Moreno up. Cannon gets ahead of him. No balls, 2 strikes. Moreno fouls off 5 pitches. With the 5th pitch being a foul tip, Alvarez holds on to it. That's a strikeout, and that ends the 4th inning. So Ryan Nelson still on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Tyrone Taylor, who tripled in his first at-bat, leading off the top of the 5th inning. Taylor this time grounds out in a first pitch cutter, down in the zone. Pulls it to Eugenio Suarez at third, fires across the diamond to Naylor, and that's the first out. Francisco Lindor up next. Ryan Nelson hits him with the first pitch, a curveball that gets away from him. Brings up Juan Soto. Diamondbacks decide to go to their bullpen. They bring on the lefty Jose Castillo. And Castillo gets ahead of Soto, 1-2, and he gets Soto to swing at a slider at the bottom of the zone, hits it right to Ketel Marte at second base, who tosses to Perdomo at short, and then fires over to Naylor, and that completes the inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. Griffin Canning facing Lourdes Gurriel Jr. leading off the bottom of the fifth inning, and Gurriel goes after the first pitch he sees and flies out to Brandon Nimmo on left, 1 pitch, 1 away. Alex Thomas up next, and Canning gives him a steady diet of all-speed pitches, striking him out swinging over a 2-2 changeup at the bottom of the zone for the second out. Geraldo Perdomo got a changeup as well, but he didn't swing over his 1-1 changeup. He grounds a single right up the middle into center field, puts a runner on first with 2 outs, bringing up Corbin Carroll. In Corbin Carroll's first at bat, he hit a fastball by Canning for a home run. Canning has not thrown him a fastball since. In his second at bat, he threw 1 slider, but primarily changeups and a knuckle curve. In his third at bat, Canning gets the count to 2-2, primarily throwing sliders this time around, and Carroll lines the 5th pitch of the at bat, right up the middle for a base hit, but releases this out of the park. First and second for the Diamondbacks, 2 outs. Ketel Marte now up. He fouls off a first pitch changeup, then gets another one that he grounds right to McNeil, tosses to Alonso at first, and that ends the 5th inning. Juan Morello on the top of the 6th inning in relief of Jose Castillo, who did his job. Morello faces Pete Alonso leading off, and he gets Alonso to hit a routine ground ball to Perdomo at short, fires across the diamond to Naylor, and that's the first out. Starling Marte up next. He works the count full and then draws a walk. So runner on first, 1 out. Brandon Nimmo up, who walked 2 times in this game himself, and his timing is just off. He got 2 good pitches to hit, fouled back a 1-0 fastball up, and then he hits a routine fly ball to Alex Thomas on a 1-1 fastball, middle of the zone, 2 outs. Mark Vientos now up, 2 outs, runner at first, and Morello battles him, gets to a full count. Vientos fouls off 6 2-strike pitches, but ultimately he flies out on the 12th pitch of the at-bat to Alex Thomas in center field, and that retires the side. Huáscar Brazoban comes on this game in relief of Griffin Canning, facing Pavin Smith, leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Brazoban falls behind him, 3-1 strike, and then walks him. So Diamondbacks have the leadoff batter on, no one out. Josh Naylor up. Brazoban gets Naylor to reach for a 2-2 sinker off the plate, hits it right to McNeil at second, who tosses to Lindor, covering second, fires over to Alonso. That completes the 4-6-3 double play, 2 outs. Brazoban then ends the 6th inning by striking out Eugenio Suarez, getting him to chase a 2-2 changeup down and away off the plate. Ryan Thompson on to pitch the top of the 7th inning. He comes on in relief of Juan Morello. Leading off for the Mets is Francisco Alvarez, and Alvarez goes first pitch swinging at a sinker down to the zone, grounds it up the middle, hits off of Thompson, goes towards Ketel Marte at second base, infield single for Alvarez. The Mets have a runner on first, no one out. Jeff McNeil comes up. He works the count full, but Thompson gets a sinker down and in. McNeil swings over it for a strikeout, 1 out. Brings up Tyrone Taylor. He works the count to 2-1. He gets an 89-mile-an-hour sinker up in the zone, lines it a double into left field. Alvarez goes into third, second and third, 1 out. Brings up Francisco Lindor, and Thompson gets ahead of him, 1-2. He tries to come down and in with a slider. Big mistake. Lindor crushes it. 415, right center field, over the fence, over the pool that they have out there in Chase Field. It's Lindor's 7th home run of the season. The Mets now have a 5-1 lead. Brings up Juan Soto. Death taxes at Juan Soto being up in a full count. Full count, hits a laser, bangs off the right field wall, shoots back 20 feet, right to Carroll and right. Soto cruising to second base. He has a double, his 9th of the season. The Mets are just tattooing Thompson right now. Diamondbacks go to the bullpen. They bring on Tommy Henry in relief of Ryan Thompson. He's going to face Pete Alonso, and Alonso hits a laser himself, a 1-1 changeup down and away, pulling it and lining into left field. Soto advances to third base. The Mets have runners on first and third, 1 out. Starling Marte up, and he gets himself ahead 2-1, and he hits the ball hard too, but it's on the ground, up the middle. Ketel Marte ranges to his right. He dives. He stops it. He gets up, flips to Perdomo at short, covering second, fires over to Naylor, Gets Marte by half a step. So that's the 4-6-3 double play. Retires the Mets in the 7th inning. Brazoban now on his 2nd inning relief. He's facing Gabriel Moreno leading off the bottom of the 7th inning. And Moreno gets ahead 2-1. But he pulls a sinker on the corner right to Vientos at third. Fires across the diamond to Alonso. That's the first out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. up, and he goes after the first pitch sinker, inner half of the plate. Belt high, but he flies out to Taylor right before the warning track in center. 2 outs. Brings up Alek Thomas. He gets ahead of the count as well. 2 balls, 1 strike. But he chases the changeup up off the plate and flies out to Brandon Nimmo in left field, and that ends the 7th inning. Daniel Nunez comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mets are leading 5-1. It's his first appearance as being activated the other day. He was a major part of this bullpen last year when the Mets were catching fire and making their surge, but he got hurt. He suffered a pronator strain in his right forearm. The pronator is on the inside of your forearm where the bend of the arm meets and it goes up towards your wrist. The strain prevents him from rotating his forearm to face his palm down, but he's back now. He's healthy. He spent some time in AAA. Didn't have the best results, but he met all the necessary checkpoints the Mets medical staff had for him, and now he's back on the roster. Unfortunately, he had a nightmare appearance. He walked the leadoff batter, Geraldo Perdomo, on a 3-2 pitch. Then he threw a wild pitch with Corbin Carroll up, but he walked Corbin Carroll on a 3-2 pitch. So the first 2 batters are on, no one out. His command overall just is not there. Specifically his slider. His fastball is a little bit better, but his command just is not any good. He gets the 2-2 on Ketel Marte, but then he bounces the slider for ball 3. Then he misses wildly for fastball to walk the bases loaded. Mendoza comes out, gives him the hook, brings on Reed Garrett. Bases loaded, no one out. Garrett strikes out Pavin Smith on a 2-2 splitter down and away. That's the first out. Josh Naylor goes down and gets a first pitch cutter, lines it into center field, driving in Perdomo. But Taylor got to it quickly, throws it back in the infield, only 1 run scores. So everyone moves up 1 base. The bases are still loaded. It's a 5-2 game now. Still 1 out. Eugenio Suarez up. He's really done nothing in the 5 games that we played so far. 4 games we played so far, But he drives a 1-1 cutter, middle away, straight center field. It bangs off the center field fence. Taylor plays it perfectly, fielding and getting the ball in quickly. Carroll scores. Marte scores. Naylor, for some reason, went back towards first to tag up, so he was only able to get to second base on it. Horrible base running on his part. That keeps Suarez at first. On a ball hit like that, the runner on first should be standing on second base. You stand there practically and you wait till that ball is caught. If it's caught, you go back to first. If it's not, you keep going. And you possibly could score. Don't know what he was doing there. The Mets will definitely take his poor base running on the Diamondbacks' part there. It's a 5-4 game now. Time running at second. Still 1 out. Reed facing Gabriel Moreno. And he goes right after him. Strikes him out on a splitter that drops out of the zone for the 2nd out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. up. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. And Garrett gets him to pop up on the sweeper on the outer half of the plate. Foul territory. And is caught by Alvarez to end the 8th inning. Top of the 9th inning. Luis Angel Acuna comes on to pinch hit for Jeff McNeil against Thomas Henry. Henry gets ahead of him. No balls, 2 strikes. But then he loses the slider and hits him. So Acuna's on first base. No one out. Taylor up. He takes the first pitch curveball for a strike. Next pitch, he lays down a sacrifice bunt. It's fielded by Henry. Tosses over to Naylor for the out. Acuna's now on second base. Francisco Lindor now up. Runner in scoring position. 1 out. Lindor reaches for a 1-2 changeup outside. Grounds it right to Naylor at first. Takes the ball to the bag himself. It's the 2nd out. Acuna moves to 3rd. Brings up Juan Soto. Guess what? Full count. Soto goes after a curveball off the plate. Outside. Too close to probably take. But he taps it back to Henry, who tosses it over to Naylor, and that retires the side. So, bottom of the 9th. Mets cling to a 1-run lead, 5-4. Edwin Diaz now on the mound, trying to get the save. Acuna stays on in the game after pinch hitting for McNeil. He's playing second base. Alek Thomas leads off for the Diamondbacks, and he hits a chopper to Alonso. To Alonso's right. He fields it. Diaz is covering first. Alonso underhand tosses it to Diaz. Bad toss. Too high. Diaz has to reach on the run to grab it. He comes down. Thomas, with his speed, is able to beat him to first base. Thomas is now at first base. He represents a tying run, no one out. And on this play, Alonso fielded it well. He came in to meet the pitch recovering, which was correct. Where he messed up was he was supposed to stay down while flipping the ball to Diaz, and he stood upright. When you come up upright on the flip like that, it causes the ball to sail high. It's something he's going to have to work on to fix, because it's not the first time that he's had this issue. So Perdomo's now up. He fakes a bunt on the first pitch. Next pitch, he shows bunt, pulls back. Thomas is stealing. Alvarez flies down to second. It's a strong throw, but not really a good one in all honesty. It's right side of the bag, which is fine, but it one-hops Lindor. Tough hop at that. But somehow he's able to lunge for it, scoop it, and swipe at the same time. And he tags Thomas, who's sliding in headfirst into the bag at second. The ruling on the field is that Thomas is out. The Diamondbacks challenge the play. The replay showed that Lindor touched Thomas's left leg before continuing on with his tag and touching his right leg. The left leg was tagged clearly before he tagged second base with his hand. Had he missed the left foot, he may have beaten it. I believe his right foot was tagged just after he had a hand on the bag. The call on the field is upheld. Thomas is out. Fantastic play by Lindor. Going in and getting that throw and getting the quick tag on to get Thomas. Big out. 1 out, no one on. Diaz then goes on to a full count with Perdomo. Gets him to fly out to Nimmo in left field on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. 2 outs. Corbin Carroll now up. Carroll and Diaz have a history, with Carroll beating Diaz with a walk-off home run last year. Diaz doesn't care. He goes right after him, says this is a new year, new results. Strikes him out on 3 pitches, getting him to chase an 0-2 back foot slider. Strike 3. Game over. Mets win this game 5-4. Let's get into the takeaways. The Mets mayhem player of the game has to be Francisco Lindor. Lindor went 1 for 4, but he had a big 3-run home run over the right center field fence. At that time, it pushed the Mets' lead to 5-1, but the Mets needed every one of those 5 runs to win this game. He also made the play of the game, corralling the throw down in the top of the 9th inning by Alvarez, with Alek Thomas stealing second. The throw was offline, the throw was short. Lindor went and got it, and still had the wherewithal to somehow make the tag, just barely getting the left leg of Alek Thomas in time for the caught stealing. Francisco Lindor is showing how valuable he is to this team, both offensively and defensively. Griffin Canning picked up his 5th win of the season. He went 5 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6. I 100% agree with pulling him when Mendoza did. 3rd time around the order, it was a 2-1 game at the time. It was the right move to pull him. And who did he pull him for? Brazoban. Brazoban came out in relief, and man, he has been a fantastic pickup for the Mets. He goes 2 scoreless, doesn't allow a base runner. So Lindor's 3-run home run gave the Mets a cushion to get Daniel Nunez in the game. Almost backfired on them, but that was the spot to do it. They were up 4 at the time. You make him face the mandatory minimum 3 batters. If he doesn't have it, yank it. Unfortunately, he didn't have it. And not only did he didn't have it, he couldn't find the strike zone at all. He recorded not a single out. He walked all 3 batters he faced. Reed Garrett came on, got the first out, and then Josh Naylor lined a single to center, just in front of Taylor, drove in 1 run. And then they brought up Eugenio Suarez, who's done nothing at all in these 4 games. But he crushes a deep one in center field. The Mets were lucky that one wasn't a home run, and they were equally lucky that Naylor made a boneheaded base running play, where Reed got the next 2 batters out and got us out of the inning. Top of the 9th, I would have liked to see Mendoza manage a little bit differently. After Acuna reached on base with a hit by pitch, I would have liked to see him steal second. Moreno has only thrown out 20% of those who attempted to steal so far this season. They went with Taylor bunting him over to second base, but I would have preferred the attempt to steal second and then bunt him over to third base, and he's on third with 1 out for Lindor. Thankfully, the Mets had all the runs they needed. Diaz came on the 9th, and after the leadoff batter reached on an error by Alonso, Lindor saved Alvarez and Alonso both, making an acrobatic play to first catch Alvarez's offline throw, then making the tag. Diaz did the rest. He picked up his 8th save. The Mets moved to 23-13. They dropped the Diamondbacks to 18-17. Tuesday's game is scheduled for 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Game 2 of the series. The Mets have David Peterson on the mound. He's 2-1 with a 3.06 ERA. He's going up against Zach Gallen, who's 2-4 with a 4.93 ERA. And the Mets owe Gallen payback. He shut the Mets down for 6 innings of 1-run ball on May 1st, so it's time for us to light him up in this game. Now, I'll be back to recap this game and provide any other noteworthy Mets news, but until then, Mets fans, let's go Mets.